The highest number of paint I ever got from out there was 12 gallons, and I had 3 people in my truck. Now somebody needs to make it clear, but I'll get it straight. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wonderful. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you will tell me the name of the person who gave you that information?
No, that was confidential
No,
information.
Sylvia, he can't do that. He can't. Nobody can get
Well,
it.
how can I be blamed for something I didn't get?
Looking at our little summary here of all the different names and the table of contents, what kind of action are we going to take forward with this department and handling these, and with these organizations that are associated in this report? What do we do with our relationships?
We are reviewing what actions we take. We will not be just jumping off a cliff here, but we already have some ideas. Again, some of them I do not think are appropriate to discuss publicly at this time. However, as you go through the report and we go through the report, we will come up with some swift action to address some of these, and other actions will have to be over a period of time, because some solutions to this will not just happen in a couple weeks.
Well, that we may be asking Mr. Brett Schneider, who has done personnel review issues before for us, outside review. We may have to do that based upon some of these things. And we'll also be working with Mr. Kessler, who knows more about this than anyone presently, but we recognize that administratively we have some serious business to do.
Let Marty go.
I think he wanted to start.
Marty, go ahead.
Thanks, Marty. I see it. I see it on page 1. Go
That's
ahead,
okay,
Marty.
that's not what I just wanted to say was perhaps I can make a recommendation that the commission not discuss anything or even talk to some of the people that's indexed over here, and let's go through Burgess for the time being until they come up with some ways of correcting some of the situation. So if we do have a conversation with people on the list that's you don't see, but it's on the list there, I would prefer not to talk to these people personally, and refer that to, if you have a question with that specific, to talk to our city manager.
That would be our recommendation.
That's going to be very difficult for some of these people.
Well, it's difficult, but it's also, at this particular time, we got to give staff an opportunity to make some corrections, whatever those corrections are.
And the press has to be, it has to realize that you've got what's here, and I don't feel this commission needs to make any comments on it
That's
either
correct.
to the newspapers. So please don't
Right.
call us and try to, get us. I mean, I know you're going to call us, but don't expect a reply. Okay, at least from me. So I'm sure my fellow commissioners feel the
Right.
same way, because this is a lot for us to have to digest, and the way it sounds, we're not done.
WDBA, have you received all the documentation to make a final conclusion about that organization?
No, we're still missing records. We're missing bank statements. We're missing general ledgers. In fact, there's a number of the entities that we asked for records to support the documentations, since the city's records were so poorly kept. So we asked for supporting documentation. There are a couple of not-for-profits that retained attorneys and said that they would not turn over the records.
Therefore, I think that we need to continue on at least the WDBA.
Yeah, I think
yes, the scope was very...
They never held records back from you.
First off, I think there's a major conflict, and I don't think it's right to have anyone up here who's got a conflict to be advocating what we do or what we don't look into. I think it's completely wrong. Have you received full cooperation during your process, or was there a lack of cooperation in general?
It depends on who you're referring to. Certain not-for-profits that receive grant monies from the city, there was no cooperation.
Overall, though, we seem to have had a lack of cooperation, and the West Side Businessmen Association has not cooperated fully.
Let's put it this way. It was like a dentist to pull teeth to get records.
Well, we have been asking since last summer to do an audit, and we've gotten nowhere.
The Haitian American Consortium, we had a similar problem to try to get records. Finally, we did get a slew of records in, as well as admissions that certain crimes were committed.
Keep in mind that when we did a Tri-Data report in 1999, this city spent $100,000 for that report, which they did absolutely nothing. And then in 2004, We did it again for another $100,000, and the city did absolutely nothing. I think we should allocate the proper funds as an internal audit to find if there is any more, and let's once and for all clean the slate. Deerfield Beach looks terrible.
What I'd like to do is work with Mr. Kessler on a scope of service with an attached cost to it, and we'll bring it back
That's
on the
appropriate.
May 4th
That's fine.
agenda item. But I just want to reiterate that I think it's
I would
very
go,
important
I'd go
to
along
follow
with that.
through with
If you
this.
need a motion, I'd be glad to put it in.
Well, no, we're just going to come
That's
back,
fine.
we're going to come back to you. I
That's
think Burgess is correct. We need to absorb this, and we will be back to you on the 4th with a revised, with an amendment to the contract with a revised scope of services for future services.
That's right.
I had an appointment set up with Mr. Kessler for 2:30 tomorrow. But since the allegation is that I received 225 gallons of paint over a 5-year, it's got to be over a 5-year.
I don't think so, Commissioner.